2XKO Alpha is coming. Evo registration numbers are live. And Evo 2024 has wrapped in Daytona, maybe forever. Welcome to Double Tap. This is a podcast dedicated to everything and anything in the fighting game community. I'm, of course, your host, Crash, and with me, I've got my host that will also be joining us on this week's episode. Got the man, the myth, the legend. We hold this show together, of course. We got Ja in the building.
Hey, what's going on?
And we've got Static G, of course, wondering why he's now been put in the anchor position the second time this week.
Right, I need some titles too. I'll bring some next week.
Okay, all right. We'll come up with a title. But guys, welcome. This is episode 380, and we've got plenty to get into. Starting right off the rip, though, we've gotten some 2XKO news that came out just actually short days after our last show. With some surprising information. So, 2XKO dropped a new YouTube video titled, "What is the 2XKO Alpha Lab?" Those have been in the know. This is, of course, Riot Games' fighting game, or their entry into the fighting game scene. This project, and they had the executive producer Tom Cannon, of course, and the game director Sean Rivera, alongside with Nick Sajam, and they got to break down basically what the Alpha Lab is, because it's good news for everybody. I mean, people are getting ready to play the game at home. This is an at-home stress test that they're doing in certain regions. Not all regions are getting hit. Fortunately, here in Germany, we are not one. It's to be us. But the majority of other major regions are getting the opportunity to play the game with some new things involved as well. I don't know if you got a chance to peep. Did you see the Ari changes in the video, Static?
I did. She's a Rekka.
Yes, because you played in Evo last year, right? Build that went out. I think they've only had one other build, which was Evo Japan.
Yes, but I don't remember her. I remember viewing other things of people playing her and using Amaterasu Cold Star or whatever.
Yes.
But I used Echo. Mostly remember what I did with Echo.
Got you. Well, Ari being kind of like the only air dash character in the game, so it's closest to like anime fighter, like Guilty Gear players will probably gravitate towards her a little bit more, and as well as maybe Marvel characters. Her wild ass assist, and as well, like I said, the air mobility is kind of a plus. But this is the first time we actually got to see change on an original roster character kind of be different since the game really launched, or not launched, excuse me, since the game was announced. We're not there yet. But yeah, it was really cool to see that they're taking a lot of feedback over this time in development from obviously Evo Japan. Obviously, there's Evo coming up. I don't think they've actually been events past those, and taking this feedback and actually looking at these characters and adjusting them well before this game even obviously that, which is good because I'm still in development. But I was like, I felt like it was a drastic change for the character. Now it's like Rekka's, and kind of her orb play has also been changed up quite a bit, where instead of like a full blast, now you actually have more control over how many orbs out. Pretty cool. The girl, I've played her. She's got a hell of a learning curve. No joke. She does kind of feel like there's a lot there. So seeing these adjustments to kind of see how, like, to make it fun to play first, as they kind of talked a lot about that in the video, was really cool to see that they're really emphasizing the gameplay over anything else, right? I mean, it still looks to be honest.
You know, I was going to say that the game looks a lot better than what our first video on the game, than what I said on the first video of the game. Because I was like, I know it's early, but the game looks kind of, I don't know, I'm not impressed. But it looks a lot better now. I would give it that. You know, I can always eat my words. It's okay. I'm always hungry.
Things change.
Yeah. Like what? What's better? Like, because what do you think is better? Say it, Static. Say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specific. Then.
I didn't like the backgrounds.
Okay.
In particular. Okay. But it does blend in, and I already do know, now that I know more of the art style of what it's going for, I can appreciate it more. It reached my 2XKO expectations. I was gonna try to put X in there, 2 expectations. Is that was no? Never mind.
I'll accept it. I liked it. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't. But what I did like though was the next tidbit about the Alpha Lab, which they brought up, which was a new fuse as well. Not only did they make changes to art, but they actually introduced in Infuse. And this was a big piece of the video for good reason, right? So Alpha, the Alpha, or what they're calling Alpha Lab, is basically, like I said, it's going to be a play test for everyone. So what's the main thing they want to make sure they kind of nail down, or they get the most data on? How people are playing and how much they're, what they like about it. And really, one of the key things they also are trying to point out in this game, or trying to tackle in this game, is that execution barrier, that, that barrier that most cats tend to have with fighting games. And we already know it's got simplified inputs. There are no quarter circles or no combinations like Nordic specials, right? You have directions and a button. And I thought they were just going to keep it. That was going to be the barrier. We've seen it before, right? With previous endeavors with like Rising Thunder way back when. They're not the only ones. Power Rangers is another one, right? And I thought that was all they're leading at, but this was a big surprise. So a new fuse, aka a new variation. Let's call it variation, team variation. Groove. You can apply groove, or whatever you might want to call, was introduced, and it's called Pulse. Now, Pulse is, on top of the simplistic inputs, Pulse is a way of basically having auto combos be a part of the game. If you choose to have, instead of it being like always in, like your Persona 4s or your Dragon Ball Fighters, where like no matter what, like auto combos exist no matter what, right? You can actually choose to have this variation applied to your team. And it's cool because, like I said, it's a player's choice, which, if you've been a listener, like we love when there's like toggle, there's a toggle for features that, if you give that ability for players to, if they want to have it, I think it's better to keep it in their hands than having it, as a feature that you cannot, you have no control over turning off use. Especially when it's like specifically for like cash, or at least to kind of, build the cash. So the Pulse feature basically allows for auto combos. It's the trade-off. You don't get no 2x super. You don't get the double assist. You have to freestyle. Those are what those other ones do, which are a little bit more on the advanced, right? Pulse is more beginner friendly and basically allows you to just like go from, they have low, medium, heavy, right? Low, 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 and it does a combo. You do medium, medium, medium. It does a combo, but then it ends with a super. Then you can do heavy, 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 and you can actually end with, right, which is like more meter, right? So the idea was like, okay, cool. You can get a player to start, a casual player to kind of like, okay, cool, this here, which is also on the ground and in the air. It does it on both. And depending on the level, you get a reward from it. Then they kind of take it another layer, which then they state you can always start from low. You can go low, low, medium. You can go low, medium, heavy. You can go medium, medium, heavy. You can always go up. So the cool thing about that, you might go like, well, that's simple. You can just chain everything. That's exactly it. Like the fact that you can have a easy route for a casual player to be comfortable going like, hey, I just want to try combo. They can start low, low, low. Now eventually they start, okay, learn low, low, medium. Now they're like, okay, they're getting into a groove of pressing different strengths and getting more comfortable. Because the game really is just a 1, 2, 3 magic. Low, medium, heavy, always combo. Like that is just what the advanced player is going to do, and that's what a casual player can. Now using something like Pulse, where it kind of gets a little bit more breathing room, a little bit of a safety, that it kind of helps organically, them to kind of get an idea of like, oh, what a advanced player would still do. So it kind of takes away the kind of the intimidation of like, oh, I need to learn all the buttons right away. It's like, no, you can just stick on one, and then when you're feeling saucy, when you want to, dip the toe a little bit, you can decide to hit a medium. If you're feeling spicy, press a medium, press a heavy button, and then get rewarded, which is great because that feeling, that reward of like going from like, say, someone that always going to press using Pulse will always do a combo, but then they're like, I want to cash out. I want to use my super. They decide to go low, low, medium, medium, because you have to go the medium route in order to get a super. Bam! Now you've let them go over other barrier naturally to that mirror. Oh wow! Now I got to cash out and really get rewarded for pushing a different button or going a different route. What happens if I go further? I want to really cash out all the max damage I can with heavies, right? I just thought that was a really, really great way to kind of like introduce another way for a player to kind of, like I said, get out of that comfort zone and naturally kind of get into the groove, no pun intended, in execution when it comes to fighting games that, kind of plagues, the casual player from really kind of investing. right? Because they feel like they have to spend so much time before they're even able to have fun. It's like, no, like this it's part of the system if you choose. Yeah. And then once they have it down, they can now mess around with the other one. So now there's like this whole other set of things that now they get into, and it kind of helps spark that kind of wanting to play more, right? Curiosity to see like, oh, well, what can my characters do if I do this? And explore the system mechanics. And now next thing you know, they're just like, it's second nature to them.
True. Yeah, and so it also reminded me of Eunice. Eunice has that with when you have meter. Dragon Ball Fighters has it in certain terms where however, some auto combos were a bit more cheaper than others. Like when Kid Buu would do like a certain move and it would be like overheads in between his auto combos.
Yeah,
so like yeah, and that's fine. Like a lot of people tend to complain about auto combos because they're like, oh, it's too easy, you're just learning an auto combo. And I'm like, well, I don't think Dragon Ball made it easier. Like I don't think Dragon Ball was making it like, how do I say, like an auto combo is easy way to win. No, I think there were actual uses to auto combos in Dragon Ball Fighters. Like at the end of the day, granted, yes, there are some good, let's call them grooves throughout this game. However, if you want to still play Pulse, you can and still do well, I'm sure, without having to have the other grooves in the game. Like it might even make you better because you're like in an air combo and it only, who knows? I haven't touched it, I don't know, but it might be able to adjust certain combos that aren't able to do with regular execution. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get consistency, right? That's the main thing you trade. You're trading execution for consistency, like what auto combos fundamentally do. When you're past, obviously, breaking barrier. But actually, I didn't even get to bring up the last piece, which was if you pick Pulse, you would think like, oh, what else are you giving? Because like say in Street Fighter 6, if you pick Mauter, you lose certain normals, right? And you do not. Right. You can actually still be in Pulse and do advanced combos, like any other group. Right. So there's no limitation. It's just like the idea is that there's no limitation, but the barrier to break in is low.
So exactly,
which is great.
Let's say you get not a restand, but let's say you're standing again, and you want to do HHH level 3. You don't even have to like do anything really, just button into it. Now, in Dragon Ball, if you're new to Dragon Ball, like if you did like an air combo and you kept it to a certain timing of the auto combo, the character would actually adjust itself to combo the character. Whereas if you did it LMH, the character wouldn't move. It was a very weird concept, but it ended up like working if you were diving deep into the game. So I actually like Dragon Ball Fighter's style of combo.
Yeah, I think this is a little lessons learned from other games and a kind of an evolution to it, which is like really, really helpful.
That's something I do. What is it? What is it? Condone? No. What's that word? I don't know. That's something that I sort of like. Damn it! I lost my.
You co-sign it.
Yeah, I didn't lose my train of thought, but it's something that kudos to them for actually bringing. Yeah, no, right. Kudos to them for actually bringing in, like, it feels like to me, and even they said it in the video that they're reaching out to a lot of FGC world, because this can bring in the Dragon Ball players that are used to auto combo. This can bring in all of these other elements, can bring in the people that are used to Eunice and how that plays, or Under Night.
Absolutely.
All of those series. Even, I mean, whoever played Rolling Thunder or anybody. Yeah, thank you. Or even Power Rangers. So like, I think they're at a good point where they're trying to find the player base too.
For sure. And the best way they're going to do it is through this alpha. This is currently taking signups for it. Is that alpha that 2x scale at Riot Games. You guys can check it out on the YouTube page. I have a link there. Make sure to sign up. This is happening across all platforms that they're seeing on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. It's going to be starting in August in those select participating regions. So make sure to go sign up. Chances are, I don't know 100%. I don't know if our version is going to be in there. It might be, from Malawi on, but I didn't see any specifics video about. But regardless, it's going to be more 2XL, so it's a win, whichever way. Yeah. And that, what is that? She has that Rekka air dash cancel. Yeah, Oof. Yeah, there's some dirt.
It's dirt, but then I saw them jab out of it. I'm like, oh, the Guilty Gear players are happy. They're like, I can just jab you out of it.
Yeah. can't be free. Can't all be free.
I know it.
But yeah, so 2xscale once again trying to kind of break those barriers down, but that still keep that depth ceiling really, really high. Awesome. I can't wait. If you're in those participating regions, make sure to go sign up. Go check it out. It's going to be the Alpha Lab once again, 2xscale. Go peep that out. In the meantime, though, we talked about evolutions, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about after this break. We got some Evo numbers that just dropped. So we're going to be taking a look at these records that are being playing what and who likes to play other games. But we'll be doing that after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Right back. All right, so we got to wait a little bit longer for the 2xKO Alpha to come out. But Evo's going to come around the corner before that happens. Makes me wonder if we're going to have any possible announcements. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, so Evo happening in July, which we are in now. First day of July is what we're recording. 2 weeks. Yeah, it's coming and going. They ended up posting up on Twitter. It was actually a couple days ago. They posted up foreshadowing it. All-time records have been made, and then there's a new article on the actual website on the news side breaking down 2024 competitors by the numbers in which they have the high scores. Let's just call it that. It's just the high scores for all 8 games that are going to be participating. This is we'll start from the bottom and start from 8th place right now with King of Fighters at 370 entrances.
Hold on. I've got the numbers from last year. I put it on my Instagram.
Oh, appreciate that. I was gonna say I felt like that was kind of low, to be honest, for King Fighters, but we'll double check that with those. But just above that, actually, just barely, like not even a full double. We got MK1.
I'll compare the numbers from last year. King of Fighters was at 666 last year.
Okay, and this was 15 stuff, right?
Yep, 15. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, so
again, it could be Garou. When you announce a new game, it does kind of tip the scales over the next game.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong because the new Garou is looking kind of disgusting. Like, it looks amazing, first of all, and then King of Fighters is a compilation of those characters too, so it's like there could be a lot of fans there, so it's like they might just be waiting around.
Yeah, maybe some decide not to travel for it, and it's not a newer game. K9's kind of nerfed. You can't, all of the above.
Yeah.
But Mortal Kombat,
MK1 making their debut this year.
Yeah,
actually, so this is the first 645.
Where 11 Ultimate was last year at 449.
Okay, so better than the predecessor. That's a good look. Yeah. After couple years, I felt like that was also a little bit low. But I'll tell you what's not though is Uni. You were just talking about Uni earlier, man. They showed out 785 at 6th place right now. So, Uni 2 is doing pretty well.
So last year was actually Melty Blood at 554.
Yes,
there was no Uni last year.
Yeah, I believe this should be Uni 2's state. Correct. Yes. I think Uni came right after.
Uni 2 came out was announced last year during the first day.
Yes, that's what it was. So this will be making their breakout. So at 75%, there's another. Speaking of respectable, Street Fighter 3 third strike, 1101, bro. This actually is record. This is the biggest Street Fighter 3 single man bracket like in history. The biggest it's ever been. So all the years the game has been out, nothing has touched this many.
So
which is awesome.
Yeah, funnily enough, last year was in 5th place was actually Dragon Ball Fighters at 838 entrants. So for Street Fighter Third Strike to be the 5th game at 1,101 entrants is unbelievable. It's crazy. I mean, Marvel was the guest game last year at 1,346 in 4th place. So for number 4 this year, that's crazy too. I mean,
Grand Blue. Yeah, we're talking about Rising, baby. Rising to the top. We almost at the top 3 mark.
Yep.
We'll take the top 4. 1377. I mean, it goes to show what the game, really sitting back and rethinking the ink on the game has done. The new mechanics, characters. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, like Nier and this and that. I get it, but the game, I'm not gonna lie, it's still fun as hell to at least watch. At the very least, like this isn't so complicated that you don't understand what's going on. So it's really easy to get into. Like, I don't know, it's doing things right. It is honestly doing things right, and this is just to show that the community is enjoying it and wants to get it. So.
Oh, and not
Good
to
on
skip
that.
over Third Strike. I mean, I entered Third Strike. A lot of people are
Oh,
learning.
so
Third
you're the
Strike.
one. You're the
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
the
yeah. I'm 01. Yeah.
1101. Yeah, there you go.
1101. Yeah.
There you go.
No, so I'm excited for that too. And yeah, granted, I have my 1 or 2 wins at Combo Breaker, but like, hey, it's have fun with the game. Even if you DQ yourself, hey, you got to enter. You got to put your name in the game.
Exactly.
You got to contribute to the one.
Contribute to the one. Contribute to the biggest Third Strike tournament in history. You're in there.
Wow.
You can when your kids or your grandkids, you're like, oh, abuelo static. Did you ever play this game? You'll be like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, siéntate. Let
Todo
me tell you
fuerte
something.
never removes his mask. No.
Nunca. Never has there ever been a bigger tournament. I was there. I was in the grind.
Who did you use? You better have used Chun-Li, abuelo. No.
Oh yeah, there you go. There were yuns everywhere.
Yeah.
The amount of Genenjins we're gonna hear.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It's gonna just insane. Top 3 now. Top 3. Guilty Gear Strive.
This
Still
is
old and strong.
This is a
over
weird
3
anomaly.
years.
You know why?
Oh yeah. Why?
Guess how many? Do you know how many there were last year for Guilty Gear? And it
I wanna
was
say
in
there was
second
like-
place.
I want to say there was 18.
Oh wait, no. Okay, no, there was 2481.
Not bad.
Right.
Still-
I thought it was
still
more. I thought it was
respectable.
more. I must have
Great.
misconstrued
You
my
know,
numbers. But still,
even though people will say like, yo, season 3 was just like DLC characters and like that's it. I mean, considering Wild Assault and Reflex Shield, right? 2 big mechanics added to the game. Season 3 has been kind of insane for good and for bad. We'll take it. We'll take it for what it is. Talk a little bit about it later in the episode. But still, 3 several years in,
I thought it went
over
up.
2,000 in the top 3. I think this is still good. Like if season 4 comes out with a banger, this number is. But still,
I messed my numbers
2K
up.
plus?
Yeah, I messed my numbers up. I thought it went higher, but no, it went down just by a hair though. It's still breaking 2,000, which again, hot damn.
3 years in. 3
Yeah.
years in.
Yeah, and guess what? And I always love saying this stat. It is the oldest modern game.
It is.
Crazy.
It is still in the top 3. So the next 2 are the new kids on the block, especially this next one, Tekken 8, 46.
That's
I don't know how they
bananas.
coordinated that. If they would have done, 46, 69. But 46, Tekken 8 making its debut earlier this year. Yeah, I mean, not surprised. It's gonna be insane. Depending on how the rest of this season goes, too, and all. The numbers could go up, it could go down, but it's still Tekken is still hype shit to watch. At Evo, it's not gonna be no different.
Compared to last year's numbers at 1,580.
Yeah. Imagine. And Tekken 7 was the oldest modern game there last, I believe. If you're talking all the way since arcade, yes, it was the old. Street Fighter had 2 entries by the time that thing got it.
Yeah. Arcade one came out at 2015.
It's like 2015. Yeah.
Wait. 2015 was when they had like a side tournament. And then 2016 was the actual arcade tournament with that Akuma. I think it was Punko in like finals with Akuma or somebody. I know there was Akuma stuff. And it was like when Pokken was on the side and all of those games.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6's first debut, 5's first debut, excuse me. But yeah, Street Fighter 6.
First place, not really a surprise to anybody. Doing very well. 5265. That is already a record-breaking number for Evo in itself, I believe. Or excuse me, second break. Because I think it already beat last year's, but it beat the Street Fighter 5 record, excuse me, what I did before.
So Street Fighter 6 last year was at, do you remember? Do you remember what it broke?
Last year it debuted, it had 5,000 as well, I just can't remember.
Yeah, it was over 7,000.
7,061.
Somebody's got their attention around here.
Nah, yo, there's a lot of words on my screen. Right? I didn't get the damn number.
7,061 is wild. But I mean, hey, you know what? It puts a break on all of the referees because man, fools were crazy. You're missing a bunch of matches, and that's the dare I say the pick your poison type deal as a TO. Like, would you rather have 7,000 and miss a bunch of matches on that should be on stream, or would you rather have 5,265?
So put it in perspective. Yeah, this is what I had in mind. Second biggest Evo tournament ever, because Street Fighter 6 last year was currently number 1. The Street Fighter 6 now has the record for first and second, just now beating out Street Fighter 5's 2016 debuted, because that was like 5107.
Yeah.
So Street Fighter has like the top 3 right now, which is just absolute bonkers. I can't even imagine. Like the DQs are gonna be insane, but like I don't think they're gonna be as many as you would think.
But some players were some people on Twitter were saying, "Oh, but how is that equal like 10,000? That's like each individual." I'm like, no, people enter multiple games, guys. Come on.
Exactly. So yeah. So a breakdown there is, we're looking at like a total of, I think on the numbers here on the
but they
posting,
said a total of 10,000 unique players.
Yes, because guess what?
Yeah.
Because guess what? We like to play a bunch of different games. Matter of fact, they put it on there. I love the data. So this is the data they posted up on the actual Evo site, which is awesome. I mean, for this scale of a tournament, it's really cool to have a breakdown. Over 10,000, I think they said on average, it was like every first competitor in the game, in Evo is like average of 1.5 games what they had. That's like the average. So that means it's kind of leaning towards more people. Multiple games, which awesome, because you stop fighting games, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, they also had a breakdown of like crossover as well for these games. So we have like Street Fighter 6 players, they are crossing over like Tekken 8, about 56 of them are also playing Tekken 8, which is awesome. Like it kind of will follow the trend, like Strive is next with like 852, then Blue. Actually, the big difference there, obviously Grand Blue is at 583, but like their strike almost 800 people with like 746, excuse me, are also playing that. I just love the breakdowns just to see how many people just love playing fighting games. Because they're all universal. They just look a little different. Maybe you have an extra axis you have to worry about in Tekken and all, and 2D to 3D, but it's all the same.
And that could mean like, these numbers could mean like that people stop playing Street Fighter to focus on their main game. Because last year, everybody was playing Street Fighter. It didn't matter who. So this year, they're like, all right, Street Fighter, I gave it up so I can play Mortal Kombat 1, or I gave it up to play Tekken full time, Because a lot of times people say, oh, you're playing too many games, you should focus on one. Well, maybe they did. Maybe the 2,000 people that didn't enter Street Fighter are still coming back to Evo, focusing on their favorite game, or even community game, because granted, Marvel was there last year. That's 1,000 entrants of Marvel that are maybe a quarter of them are going to enter the Marvel Community Tournament, like me. So that's going to be.
But yeah, they further did a breakdown. Most country. I mean, like I said, it's gonna fall more or less, except some really funny ones. So as terms of like the most entered and all, like first, second, and third most entered, you're gonna see the Street Fighter Tekken and your Strive. They just happen to have the most people in it. But there are some changes here. So, for example, United Kingdom, their most Street Fighter 6, second most is Tekken 8. Grand Blue, actually third most entered, coming out there. Mexico, this one I thought was funny. I thought Mexico would still be, the most entered game would be KOF. No, it's the second most. Street Fighter is still the more, but I mean, there's just so many players for Street Fighter. It makes sense. But KOF being second most entered, that's funny. Chile actually has it as their third. And some that two out of all things. First of all, Puerto Rico's put on there. Puerto Rico, you say country, but I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm gonna throw up my glasses and be like, well, actually, you are settled not a country. It's just a U.S. territory. But I'm nitpicky, but that's my people's. That's why it is what it is.
It didn't change, so you might as well just fuse it together. It's just the same stat.
Go ask to exchange your U.S. money.
Mono, let them know.
Exactly. Shout out to Mono. But the funny one, I was kind of also Germany here. Where I'm based out of. Tekken 8 is actually number one most.
Wow.
Street Fighter, and then third most entered was Third Strike. Damn, there's no guilty out of here.
Right.
I was like so mad at that. I was so mad. I was like, no wonder I'm having a hard fucking time.
But Japan to not have Guilty Gear as their most entered is very interesting.
Yeah. Strive did make it in several other areas. France, BR, shouldn't BR.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on.
Country or not. Canada and in the States, obviously, they have it as the third most pick. But yeah, I'm surprised. But they had Uni, though, which I'm also like. And then Third Strike, too.
Yeah,
so it's like Third Strike, Uni kind of tied for. I'm like,
but like,
is it though weird? Is it?
I mean, maybe they're tired of it.
South Korea, they got everybody that loves it. Three games in third place. Guys, Strive, Grand Blue, and KO.
But that's crazy. Wow. However, for them to be tied in first I'm not tied in first, excuse me, at Tekken 8 first, it's probably just like JDCR's family, all the
fans. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Or Saints and him and his homies, you know.
There you go. So, the breakdown was awesome. There's a couple extra little tidbits here. They break it down by percentage all on the site. So this is really cool to see them take all this data. Who's supporting?
I'm curious to see the numbers because we've obviously seen a lot of players come out of Pakistan, especially since the rise of Arslan Ash, and just curious to see because we've seen that Akuma player. He got into top 8 in 2022. No, last year or the year before.
Last year.
Yeah, and the year before, like, you know, there were a couple that came out with him that are like on his same side. I would like to see some of those numbers, even mostly international numbers. So just out of curiosity, just for next time, I guess.
Yeah, maybe more something stats. They'll break down. More stats
for stats. G.
Exactly. But hey, it's not too late if you want to book. Well, it's too late for it. But if you want to book yourself a pass to actually go check it out, you got 1 day. I think you can do per day, and then you got like 2 days. And they're still up. They're going to be up until the 16th, with the event happening on the 19th. So if you want to make a last-minute trip or show up finals, I mean, it's going to cost you. I think it's like a 3-day pass. It's like $225 right now.
Bro.
But hey, it is what it is. But Evo 2024 is going to be sick. It's going to be some amazing announcements. I mean, hey, SNK they're state of the word. They're not done with KOF 15. Even though it's kind of down there. They still got another DLC character that they are looking to announce there. They already stated that earlier, so we're expecting to have some more now. Not just them, just some big stuff on the horizon. I wouldn't be surprised if 2X had something as well with the way things are moving. And then maybe we get a better look at more of Street Fighter Year 2. Maybe we'll get some gameplay, possibly. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and find out in the meantime. But besides that, we've got some Street Fighter director talk to get into. But before we get into that, we actually do have some community talks as well. We do post up, of course, a poll and a question of the week every week for our episodes. And this week, last week was no different. We're just talking about Capcom. Obviously, we were all marveled out last week. All we were talking about. We wanted to hear from you guys, though, because the big thing about Marvel 2 being added to this new Capcom's collection, Marvel Classics and such, is the fact that there is a physical version for it and there's a digital version platform. Wanted to know, like, how are you guys feeling about it? Are you looking to buy the physical version of Capcom Collections? Basic yes or no. We had an overall 66% for yes, reservation. If you want to hear the details as to why Marvel 2 has been such a crazy history of keeping a goddamn copy of the game with digital versus physical, go check out last week's episode. It looks like over half of the people that voted in are like, yes, give me a physical copy. Don't want to, get lost in the sauce if the digital store goes down or some weird licensing happens again. That has happened before. All right, so speaking of Capcom, we basically had, or technically this is like kind of with Capcom, it is actually from SNK's Yasuki Oda. He talked about, he's from the KOF SNK team, obviously. He talked about in a recent interview about sitting down with Capcom, especially, post this season 2 announcement. Pi and Terry being in Street Fighter 6, right? Crazy crossover that's happening in Street Fighter. Oda kind of spoke and said, like, they've been talking to Capcom for years, ever since like 2022. Felt the collaboration, because remember those signs, right? Welcome back to Evo signs. Like people were losing their shit. That I wish I had an actual like copy of it, because that are disgusting. It was the closest we got to like a CVS 3, and that's kind of always been the ongoing meme about it. You kind of like just outright was saying like, hey, we had dinners with teams and talking about the collaboration and with the Street Fighter team and building a really good relationship.
I know I grabbed one, I just can't find it.
Oh my goodness, bro! You need to have that framed up.
Yeah.
So he goes out to state how he's like meeting with them pretty often, and the biggest tidbit here is he states verbatim: the more that these collaborations are successful, both companies and the more chance the one thing we both want the most is going to happen. We all know what that is.
Sorry.
We all know what that is. That's SVC Chaos 2, baby. Let's go.
Oh my God, let's go. Yeah, that's right.
No.
Yeah.
We're all thinking
SNK
about
versus Capcom
obviously.
Heroines. Let's go. No.
Yeah.
For the Switch only.
For the Switch only, digital. Yeah. You don't even get a different thing. No, what we're obviously talking about is CBS 3, man. They know. We know they know. But these collaborations, this is how they test the waters, right? How they find out if it's going to be a success, if the market shows, the data shows, the sales show. That's how you kind of get in front of them and let them know that, like, yo, we want, like, we're at that tipping point, right? The stock is going up. It's time to buy in or sell out, one or the other. So, hopefully, you guys do buy that year pass. My Terry data up.
They made an announcement that they'll have at Evo. At Evo, apparently KOF 15 is going to get more characters.
Yes.
And my theory, my prediction is that we'll have Team Street Fighter. That's my big prediction.
That would actually be fire.
Right. And big prediction is like Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li. But if you really want to be that way, you can do Ryu, Ken, Luke. Or even Ryu, Jamie, Luke.
You gotta put Sakura in there, bro.
But you
gotta put Sakura.
You can't
because she's
Sakura
not in
exactly. Like if you're gonna put Sakura, you gotta put the gaming, like the round one Sakura. Like she's hosting. She's like manager at round one, like she was in Street Fighter 5. Or if you want to even go like out of the like way, like okay, for example, a good example is that they put the Mai and the Terry from CVS 2. Like they put theirs, I don't want to say they put their likeness to it because it obviously wasn't Garo. You could easily put Garo Terry because Garo is coming out, and you could have easily put Mai from. Well, Mai always looks the same.
Mai always that girl's eternal beauty. She don't change.
She just doesn't look the same from Smash because she wasn't in it. Because good boys and girls, right?
Values.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna put a Team Street Fighter in there.
That would actually blow the roof off. That would be fucking insane.
And
you heard it here first.
But I mean, again, it could be Team Street Fighter or it can just be Team Capcom. And then they might blow the roof with just saying Ryu, Dante, so-and-so.
Oh my God. No, you can't put Dante. Man, you can't put a sword character.
Would you rather Ryu, Akira, and something else? Like
something.
Like from a fighting game?
Imagine if they did a rivals.
That's what I'm saying. Kyosuke again.
Yeah, Kyosuke.
Because that would be the big hint that like CVS whatever is coming. I don't know. I'm getting all the gooses.
Yeah, I know.
Stop
if you
thinking
buy
about
this, buy these characters or this, lets us know, right? It will be amazing. I love to see it. I want to see the collab. I've really enjoyed, how, I mean, obviously it's a two-way street. Just, man, the directors for Street Fighter 6, they really are like, they are. They're the new blood. They're the new blood. They know the games that we enjoyed and we're like, yo, these are fire. The dreams of like having another, like it's in their hands to do it, and they're just as big fans as we are.
Yeah.
So it's like really cool to see like they're really pushing the envelope here, and I'm hoping it looks like SNK's been very clear. They're like, yo, we want to.
Yeah, like, and it's funny how they theory craft like everything that we've all theory crafted in like the 90s.
But they're like, wait, but we can actually do it.
Yeah,
it's my job.
Yeah,
like, come on, bro.
Like I doubt we'll ever get MK versus Street Fighter. Like that's what everybody wanted early on. What do you mean? What are you saying?
The director from Street 6 did say in another article from VG Gamer that they were open to those conversations. They said, hey, Sub-Zero into Street Fighter. They said, we're open to that. Like, they're not shutting it out.
Right. He was in Injustice and he wasn't violent, it's just, so to speak.
It's just, hey, it's once again, it's the market. Right now, people are like a little, still on the, no more guest characters. This is too much, right? This is my Street Fighter. Don't put peanut butter in my chocolate or chocolate in my food. None of that.
And people still want cross Tekken or Tekken cross Street Fighter type deal.
Yeah,
some people still like say, "Oh, I can't wait till that game comes out," and we're all like, "Dog, I mean, if you played Akuma in the last game, that was it."
That was it. Do you want that? Do you want that with like 8 other characters too? No.
That's just fun, good fun.
All right, but yeah. So CBS3 may be on the horizon, so speaking of series that we want to see happen. This is a segue into our question of the week that we had last week. So we asked you guys last week, what series, if you could, or rather, what series would you want to actually get a re-release, like, or you want to see actually like, remastered and such, because we want to Marvel 2 and all. And we had you guys posted up all over the place. We got a couple. Proud of how we got some from Discord. Let's just get a couple out here. Over from Spotify, we've got from C Boogie, Tatsunoko versus Capcom, or Capcom versus SNK, or Capcom versus SNK. Basically, any of those Heyday versus. But Tatsunoko versus Capcom, interesting pick. Funny enough, does not get as much love because it was before MvC 3, right? Yep. It was after 2, before 3. It was only on the Wii.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it, but it's because it's Tatsunoko, right? It's the IP. Yeah, the IP is a little, but it was so our first chance that we got to play with Zero in our first. That's why it was a big deal
for you.
Zero in that game was wild.
I was playing the Japanese one early on too.
I always wanted to play Zero in a versus, like, because we had Mega Man, right? We already had, and at that point, X is already out and all that. I'm like, bro, why don't we ever have Zero in here?
Oh, right,
he's such a popular character.
Zero was only in the American one. Or in the console release. Oh no, American.
Correct.
Yeah.
In the console release.
Yeah.
Yep.
There were some characters that were not in the American release that were in Japanese. So I'm down for Tatsunoko revamp. Or maybe on the Switch, because it was a Nintendo game. So who knows?
And then Alex power bombing, big aspects.
Oh yeah. Don't get me started.
Exactly.
It's great.
So Formal Ghoul, other than MvC, I'd really love to see Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series or Capcom's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's also really digging the show, right? Shout outs to you and the JoJo's love. The JoJo's is a pretty, once again, it's kind of one of those niche, man. It's just, if you know, right? Like, if they bring it back, bring it all back, including the eagle that's completely busted, or the bird that just like it's so broken. Bring it all back. Connor Dirtoff, hopefully I said your last name correctly. Where's CVS 3? That's the CVS series. So once again, literally we just talked about it. But then we got a couple other postings as well. We got the good ones here. We've had Bloody Roar, a couple of Bloody Roars have been posted up. Gingerfeld hits us with Clay Fight. I felt like there was a talk about Clay Fighters coming back a while ago. But maybe that like kind of was because Clay Fighters is rare, right? Am I tripping?
So. Maybe.
Clay Fighters, I'm pretty sure is rare. Yeah.
It's rare, right? So it's like, I think during the maybe AI talk and stuff, Clay Fighters might make it back.
Yeah. Switch recently had some games come back on their Super Nintendo emulator thing they have. And they had Killer Instinct come through, but nothing else.
Interplay. That's who.
Interplay?
Clay Fighters,
Interplay. Thank you. Thank you. No, Interplay. Okay. So Clay Fighters full stop motion would be dope, really unique. Or you can at least replicate it to the point that CG nowadays, technology, you can make it work. But I left this one, I think, best for last. I think this was also criminally underrated. Needs to have a remake of some kind. Taz hits us with, for one, Urban Rain would be dope. Don't go around. He gave us two choices. Urban Rain would be dope. Be a dream come true. For sure, Taz. Def Jam Fight for New York. That shit needs to fucking come. We need an HD make, just update the textures on it. You can keep all the voice acting, everything the same, but I would love to see an upscale version because that shit still gets played. I don't know if you've seen the tier list and everything. That game is still rocked out. As a matter of fact, there's literally standings from CEO on Event Hubs right now for that.
I just never considered it a fighting game because it's a wrestling game.
Thank you. High five.
It is.
Yeah, it's No Mercy Part 3.
They used all the systems from the good wrestling games at the time. So it is a wrestling game. Fight to New York, the crowd was your ropes.
Yeah,
we had interactables, we had footsies, we had parries, we had grabs, we had text. Come on, bro, it's a fighting game.
I'm sorry, like I know we have that conversation on what's a fighting game and what's not on this podcast a lot. Like, people say platform fighters are fighting games. Double Tap doesn't. We disagree. They are fighting games. This is definitely a wrestling game, bro. Like
we have some discourse within the show. All right, we'll talk about this.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
In the Discord, I am more than open to talk about it. I'm not like super hard stuck on it. Like I'm not gonna be like you're a fucking idiot for thinking this is a fighting game. But I would argue it's a wrestling game. So you would have to convince me that wrestling games are fighting games.
Okay. I don't know about all wrestling games. I just know that.
Once those wrestling games get competitive, I'm out. They are oppressive as heck. Like they will
I love
destroy you. However, I do also want to like find like this is for down the road, like a conversation about video games that have fighting games in them. Like Xenogears had a fighting game that was like an arena-based fighter. I think one of the Matrix games had a fighting element to it as well. So I don't know. That's just a discussion behind the scenes we can make, I'm sure.
Yeah,
right,
sure.
We'll have
Right.
we'll talk more about that. Fighting games in your video games in your fighting games, whichever one it may be. Regardless, thank you very much for the feedback on the question of the week.
I do have one thing. You all failed me by not bringing up rival schools. I'm talking about the double tap community.
Oh, I was gonna say like, damn, bro. Like on the show,
not the
kind of
host.
did, but you walked away for a
The
second.
whole. I'm talking about not one person on any platform brought up rival schools or Project Justice.
I'll tell you why. Because we had our kind of fill with it, or like our taste with Akira from. So people were kind of like, okay, because we're like, we got a taste, a little bit of it.
Gotcha.
We
Okay.
didn't get the full thing, but it was enough to be like, oh yeah, because once you saw what her V-Trigger 2 did, where it like knocked you up and she did all the air combos, they were like, you know what, I might be okay. Actually.
And
I
Diego's
think,
in it.
you know,
Right.
we'll
Daigo,
see.
excuse me.
Things kind of came back. Yeah, the Daigo
The cameo
brother,
and
yeah,
the
it
two
was
guys in
kinda
the background cameos, pretty cool.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. But that does it for that question of the week. But before we jump onto our quick break, I actually do have Art this week's question of the week. Because we're talking about all this nostalgia and these games that we want back and all that. It had me thinking, what fighting game would you play again? Would you like to experience again? So we're not talking about play, like, you know, like any game that you know now, you could just experience it for the first time. It could be anywhere, modern, old, whatever. First time, what would that be? Make sure to post up on that. We'll plug it in our Discord, our socials, that good stuff that you guys can get involved with later in the episode. But get those gears turning. In the meantime, we're gonna talk about Guilty Gear in a second. Taking a quick break. Come back. We're gonna chat about the middle of the backyard. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. We're in the home stretch here. We've got a couple other things to talk about. More specifically, Guilty Gear. We're talking about how it's doing so well year 3, and you know there's been some feedback given. So a new developer backyard just dropped on us, which was both awesome and a little terrifying for some people. But yeah, this one dropped. This one's kind of a bit. It doesn't cover anything super crazy. It really does kind of like, it's more of a summary type of developer's backyard, because obviously we do have the Anime Dual Rulers coming up, the actual announcement at Anime Expo this week. So we're gonna cover what we get to see in the trailer next week on the next episode. They talk ABBA, they talk Slayer, because since the last developer backyard, those two have been released, and we get a little bit of a background on them, which is awesome. I don't know how ABBA is 75 pounds. Does not make sense. I think they need to read their numbers on that one. But more, besides covering that, they're just covering World Tour Finals and EVO Japan and players and all that. So like I said, they're breaking that down. But the big thing that we wanted to look into is the future update, right? Season 4, we know in progress. We know they're continuing on. It's going to be another awesome year, because May 30th was the last, it was the end of Season 3. And now we got Season 4 to look in the horizon. So what's happening now is they gave us like 2 small little tidbits about it. So coming late July, so that's later this month, there's going to be a minor balance adjustment there. They're focusing on the universal battle mechanics, Burst Gauge and Wild Assault, as well as apparently some, as well as changes for characters who currently struggle. That's kind of subjective. You could just say everybody's, lacking, but hopefully, for me, I feel the Zato players have suffered enough. Thank you for your service. You can probably relax, and maybe Zato needs a little bit of love this year, because I feel like Zato just does not get represented enough.
He still beats me up.
Yeah, but
I know.
I'm not gonna say anything. While this means some characters will not receive any to the battle mechanics result in changes to balance for many of the characters. We don't plan on making any new mechanics or moves. So no one's getting anything special in terms of an extra moveset. It looks like they're not gonna go for character specific. So they're going to really tweak the mechanics to help characters overall. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wild Assault maybe gets touched, especially since that's been like the big thing that a lot of the pros have been very, very vocal about, or the community in general. It's just about Wild Assault and how that really expressed things, or how that worked out. Maybe some will get changed, some will white to red to blue. They'll color change there. And then the other piece there is we got coming late October to November. So, we're talking Q4, right before Christmas, just in time. The large scale balance will be made. I expect change lists, their effects, the grid, overall game balance. These changes will be planned for all characters. So everybody's getting touched. That's going to be insane. Don't know if that's also when Season 4 will start. Assuming it will be. They haven't stated that outright because they don't want to obviously make a promise. They may have to delay in terms of character and the content or anything like that. But we can expect a big shift in the meta, hopefully, later on this year, which is great. That's how you want to start Season 4 with a bang? Why the hell not? So this has gotten people a bit up. It's like they kind of have been a little bit all over the place with their communication, to be honest, when it came to the overall balance of the game or their roadmap, like when they're expecting to do, any kind of changes. I'm not sure. I'm kind of divided myself in that camp. Sure, could there always be more information? Absolutely. Could they do it maybe more often? Also, yes. But looking at, obviously this entire developer's backyard, they've been pretty busy. Right, between all the major tournaments, Arc World Tour, especially Arc World Tour 2024, which we just had I believe CEO was a gold, I believe it was a gold
qualifier
level or gold level qualifier for AWT, because now it's all about points and such, which I really do love. Do like the system, and on top of that, like the anime and such, like this IP is getting a lot of love from Arc System Works, and it does suck that sometimes it might adjust things from the game a little bit, but I wouldn't say it would affect it too much. But hey, I don't work at Arc System, so I wouldn't tell you. Which, by the way, they just opened up a new, they just announced a new Europe office, which is dope. They're over in France. Might go say what's up. Anyway, besides that, like I said, it's kind of getting some of the competitive pros a little. This sucks. You guys are really not, making waves in terms of the communication with us. Like, we're suffering here. Wild Assault. Like, I mean, a part of me is like, they just told us right here, like July, they're going to work on that. And then later this year, expect the big balance patch. Now, is it going to be, is that too far? Is that too short? Right? I mean, these developer backyards do have a feedback. There is literally a feedback form which they've outright, given us data or even reported on it in the past. And we've even given them props for doing it. Like, remember, Arc System Works was like one of the early ones to kind of keep this line of communication up pretty consistent. This is the 17th developer backyard. Are they all consistent in terms of like how often they have? Maybe not, but we're getting the info. The best thing you can do is give them that feedback. Like, they are clearly open. Strive is the big example of just having those feedback channels affect the final product. Like the poster child of having it. Just let them know. Put it in a submission. Let them know. You want to hear more of it. It's just not enough. What's up with 3v3? Is it actually going to happen? Or, are you planning on letting us know how it's going to work so we can give you feedback? I'm sure they have those things in mind, but, you gotta let them know, this is fine. So that's really what's left me to kind of ask you guys that. You are awesome listeners or viewers on our YouTube. If you're fans, if you're playing Guilty Gear or watching on the sideline, has Arc System Works communication with Strive been enough? Let us know. Yes, like, hey, the info I need, it's fine. Or no, they need to change up the formula. Let us know. We'll be posting this up on all socials, on our YouTube, Discord, and all. Get involved on that. We would love to get that feedback. We'll take that feedback and we'll tell them, yo, you work for Arc System Works, got some feedback for you. I'll let them know. But yeah, we're expected to get that update on that.
Speaking of France, that's the next stop on the Arc World Tour. The mix-up.
Is it?
Yep, July
Is it the
13th
mix-up?
and 14th. Grand Blue and Guilty Gear. And then Evo.
The mix-up.
And then Evo is all platinum events.
Yes, and Evo being a platinum event is if you win that, it's direct invites AWT.
Yes, you get that envelope.
Yes, sir. All right, so with that, speaking of events, we just had a pretty major one.
Yes.
Right? Pretty good effort from the community out in Orlando. Notable afterwards. DEO 2024 just concluded, and it was a bang.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, I had to miss it because I thought it was supposed to be last week, but here we are. Yeah.
We're here now with that beauty of technology. We still got to watch it. Watch some amazing matches. We got to watch some great exhibitions like money matches. We got to see some upsets. We got to see some incredible put you on the edge of your seat kind of fucking resolutions, for certain matches.
I don't know. I see the one you labeled here for a close match, and I couldn't stand that match. Let's talk about it right now. The Potemkin Gold Lewis match, is that what you're talking about? Down to the wire?
That one was insane. Boy versus Red Eye. That was insane.
Listen.
That was the poster child. This is the second time I've said that damn word today. Of Wild Assault status in the meta with the big bodies, which is fine. But damn, what an end. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I do not like playing either of these. Hot and Gold.
I don't like watching
both of these characters.
I'm sorry.
I was very surprised. I enjoyed it because I'm not a player of either. So I was like, how do these two, like this movable object and this, unstoppable force, like collide, and what happened?
Right. Well,
apparently it's Mega Fist into 5P and then trades.
Yeah. I mean, even when you're blocking just the typhoons, you're still getting hit.
Oh my god,
it's wild. However, no, I was watching at my friend's house from afar, and I'm just looking over them like, this match is still not over. Oh my god, the Potemkin's making a comeback. Oh my god, he's in the corner. Oh my god, he just got a lucky hit. Well, he just won and said out loud, I shouldn't be winning. I should have
won. On a double KO, he was up around, ended up winning, gets up, and he's like, he literally was saying robbery. He knew what it was. Well, guess what, bro? If I was up there, I'd be like, I don't care. Okay, run the pocket. Run it all. That shit says I won. Take it. We'll look at the forensics afterwards. Oh, please throw a chair. Yeah, we'll get into that as well. Actually, no, that was a crazy ending, but I think the match of the tournament for me was actually Tempest. That shit was
the first one.
Insane. Yes, the first one. That was
winner's final or winner semi. Yeah. Because Tempest had to run way through the losers. Yep.
Yes. That was like so tight. That 5A button from Game Chaos.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Tempest is also a nut. Like in a good sense. Like DPs without any way of like RC, and then also like Leo's like heavy DP just like hits so far. Like I played Leo and I was kind of like, fuck. Is this? And
for slash DP or slash flash kick to have like some sort of safety, almost like, is this the heavy one? Is it not? Do I punish it? Do I not?
I'm scared.
One of the parts that was interesting was that I was watching with a bunch of friends and they don't play Guilty Gear. So when they saw Chaos, they're like, man, this character's weird. And then and then they see the dust and they see the gun. And I had to explain to them, yes, Happy Chaos can make his dust safe. It's an overhead, and you can make it safe by shooting. And they're like, this character's dumb. And I'm like, well, they just nerfed the game. They nerfed the game around this character. So
this character's been nerfed multiple times.
And not just the character, but the game. And the game gave people resources to deal with them. And Leffen still uses them, which is wild.
All right, give him that. We'll give him props to that. But that was an insane match. The top 8 was just overall like crazy.
Good. Yeah, it was worth the watch.
It was
big bodies. I mean, Losers was just running with just the big bodies. It was. I mean, I'm not gonna say it wasn't fun to watch. Of course, big bodies. You can see what Gold Lewis can do. Or you can see what Potemkin can do in the right hands. And but still, just for it to be top 3, Leffen, Umisho, and Leffen, Umisho, and Tempest was. It's like those guys are. They all 3 of them are really like. A great variety. I mean, off the 2 Gold Lewises, we had Cheerio and Red I Am Not.
Lucian had Happy Chaos as well as Happy Leffen, who also had a guest character with Celebrity Check with Ava.
Yeah.
Tempest with Leo, Umisho winning it with Soul, still, just proving the cats wrong, right? Since the Evo win, Umisho has cemented the fact that they are an incredible player.
The match with the Sin player was very good as well, because they almost ran it back with just Sin.
Oh yes,
being
Lucian,
down 2, and then for the other player to just come, I forgot who it was that he played, but for just to coming back in that last match and be like, okay, I did it, I'm good.
I think it was red. I think it was red.
It was definitely edge of your seat stuff, and it was one of the ones that I didn't want to miss it, because I felt like there's a lot of Guilty Gear high level that's really fun to watch. And I also wanted to see a Slayer, but there was not.
There was one Slayer that made top 16.
Raza.
Black Quest Raz. Yep. Got to make it, but he was playing Slayer, Abba, and but overall, Guilty Gear top 8 was just as good. Last year was good. This was, at least in my opinion.
Yes. Marvel was on Friday. Yeah. I watched a lot of that.
I was gonna say, how'd that go?
I am well versed in the Marvel homies. So there's this matches I definitely would recommend watch. Go watch TJ versus Escalante. TJ is a newer player, and he picked up KBR's team within 2 years.
Oh god, that's
here's
cheap.
the story. Here's the story though.
Talking about big bodies, bro.
He's been using drones. He used drones like KBR. But Tong of Tampa Never Sleeps, formerly on the show, also thinks that I suck. Tong actually was he's the one that. Go ahead.
Can I just applaud you for getting ahead of that? Because I was definitely going to bring it up.
Oh, okay. Two shows in a row.
So hit us with the M&M specials. I'm gonna tell you everything you gonna say about me.
So the thing is, Tong runs Rocket Punch Assist, and everybody gets on him for using Rocket Punch Assist. He uses it because, well, if you get the first grab, you can Rocket Punch and get a pickup off of it. So usually, if you don't, if there's drones, you take the first grab, and then there's a whole meta behind it. So TJ uses Rocket Punch Assist and 3-0'd Escalante. Now, mind you, Escalante's using Morrigan, Magneto, Dr. Doom. That's a flying all over the place type of team. So it was a good match. It was funny. We clowned TJ a lot, but he actually ended up getting 5th. So also we didn't mention Mothman won Next Up, by the way. Sorry, spoilers if you were watching Next Up. Oh no. Mothman did win the Justin Wong show. He got there 5th in Marvel 3. A rumor was that this is his last Marvel 3 tournament. I don't know, but he is a Phoenix player. I mean, Marvel 3 is kind of weaning itself out, I think, from most of the, unless they're not hardcore players. But Ray, congrats to him for actually winning the whole thing. It's been a while since he's actually won a major one. To my knowledge, I don't remember him winning anything that I've been watching as of late, other than maybe a TNS here and there. But Liberal Terminator didn't show up as well, so there was Ray, No Life Blocker, Escalante, and all of the above. So then there was the first to 10, which did get uploaded today. First to 10, excuse me. First to 15 money match.
That first to 15 was disgusting between Idom and Justin Wong.
Yes.
Won't say who won what.
Yeah, that I'll keep to the chest.
Cool. But without saying who it was, I'm going to say right now, Idom is definitely loves himself.
Yeah, he got top 8 as well. He got 7.
Man is optimized. And some of the shit I saw, I was like, you really are. Some of the Dormammu stuff, you really are a Dorm player. You're not just zoning. You actually know these routes, and with your strange assist to do so wild shit.
I think the best knowledge that I saw that is not really common knowledge is that when Storm does her Elemental Rage super, she's actually unsafe on hit. So there was a moment when Justin did the move, and Idom was ready. I know this is unsafe on hit. When impact palm, and he did. I was like, oh my god, he knows. He knows. I'm scared.
That's super fucking sucks.
It sucks. It's only good at DAC glitch in the first game.
DAC glitching it from the first game, and then it made you get a kill. But at that point, if you're gonna get the kill, you could probably.
Right.
But yeah, that money match was great. Go check it out. Go check out the results. Really, really awesome matches. Good seeing the crowd. Seeing old. It was a fun statistic. They were the old heads want Justin to win. the newer generation with IDOM.
Right.
So it's like there's like 50-50. Really cool. So whenever one of them was winning, you'd see that crowd go wild, and then when the other one was winning, the other side of it. It was really dope. Really dope.
I caught the end of Smash Ultimate. Shout outs to Riddles. Again, entering multiple games, still using Kazuya and Terry apparently.
Terry,
still rocking that. And Cola for winning with Roy, also sponsored by Moist. Winning with Roy of all characters. I mean, who picks a sword character in 2024, right? No,
I want to give some quick love for the NK1 cats.
Yeah.
Throwing
chairs?
Matches.
No.
I would say I've never been to a tournament. You see how can now be put in there where you win first place somewhere and be negative several thousands of dollars. like that was so. You've probably seen the pop off. The kind of like we'll rate the pop offs later, or I'll give you the number later. But ended up being won by Dialock, right? Dialock or Dialock? I think it's Dialock. I think it's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, homie, on that one. But yeah, one with General Shao, popped off. This was actually not grand finals. This was actually
it was in winners finals.
It was winners finals because he had to play rewind. Both times they were. Yeah. The first set, in winners finals, like guaranteed the grand finals spot. Like you're hyped. You're like, yo, this is guaranteed top 2. I'd be hyped too. That's awesome. Job's not done yet. Shout outs to Kobe, but gets up and he just throws the chair. Like that's what you already know. CEO has their main stage, their street stage is a wrestling ring and all that.
That John is out of the Royal Rumble.
He threw, it's out the Royal Rumble. That shit went over the ropes, and then the thing about it is that it hit a light on the way out. And even I was like, done enough live events to be like, yo, that light is not cheap. But because the thing is, I didn't see the clip first. I saw Jabali's tweet. He says, yo, anybody pops off, you throw anything, you're fucking out. Like, you are out. You pop off, don't throw anything, right? Our Ugly Box fans are in shambles. But I was like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, he threw that chair, hit that light. And some people are like, oh, it's only probably a couple $100. Bro, that was like a $2,700 light.
$2,900.
That he $2,900 light.
Yeah.
That he is now the proud owner of. I'm assuming liability insurance, all that stuff for it, right? But still, regardless, technically, if he didn't, and if he, we don't know what the hell's going on. For all we know, he could be like, yo, you're giving me an invoice, which he did say when he gave him the belt. Like, he is going to be the proud owner of a new invoice, like CEO 2024. As he's giving him the belt, he was like negative. I think with the winnings, he's like still negative. Like
apparently won about 570, and yeah, GG's, buddy.
There is a time and place.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna chuck a chair, don't hit the equipment, dog. Like that shit is expensive.
That means you have to win Evo. You have to win.
Don't chuck a chair, period. Do not throw things.
I don't know.
Don't throw things because you don't know where it's gonna go. Did you think he never in a million years thought he was gonna hit that light, and he never would have even thought that light was that expensive.
My response to the tweet was Austin Powers. Who throws a shoe? Honestly,
who throws a shoe?
Who throws a shoe?
Yeah,
just
I saw that. I was like, that's crazy. You won. It's one thing to do it and then you lose. That sucks because not only did you lose, like you won and you're still in the neck.
It gave him motivation. It had to give him motivation. So now I gotta win. I gotta offset this bill.
As we said, if I don't win this shit, I get the whole bill, not even a part of it.
Somebody else,
the whole thing.
Yeah. Somebody else memed that they when they won, they tossed the chair gently onto the floor and they won. I think it was the guy who won Smash, because he was running around the ring ding, 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 and they were like, yo, he's praising God or something, and then he'd knock the chair over and placed it very gently.
I think moving forward the meme should be anytime someone wins and Jeff Bailey's in the vicinity, just look at him, grab the chair, and then just bring it back down.
Am I gonna do it? Funny, Escalante when he won TNS9 tossed the chair off the stage. Yeah, so So yeah, like it's not a meme.
At least
it's a meme, obviously, but it's not a good
Nerf
meme.
chairs. I got something to pitch to Nerf. Just getting Nerf chairs. Just toss them to the ground.
Or sock and bopper. There you go. Just toss somebody.
But yeah, so MK1 was, besides, to watch, had its own fair share of fun moments.
I just noticed the Melee results that a Captain Falcon won, but also beat Hungry Box.
Yes.
I might have to watch that.
Yes, I watched it. It was actually pretty.
So just in there.
But only I got to see that. I didn't get to see the whole. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 though was another one, man. Street Fighter 6 top 8 was banger. Shout outs to Moto. I know we were just talking about him earlier, but shout outs to Moto at the 9th place still, just on the cusp, bro, on the cusp.
Even Tachikawa, who's known for Dragon Ball, apparently just been tearing through with the Ed. Yeah, modern Ed, by the way. There were a lot of upsets early on. Mothman beat Daigo apparently and sent him to losers.
Yeah. There's an old school camera YouTube video out there showing that it was big.
Ending Walker lost early to Noah the Prodigy.
The Noah.
Yeah, so there were a lot of upsets early on. So I was saying those pools must have been hella stacked.
So remember the top 3 here in this. Or it's technically a top 2, but because the situation top 3 was like go towards the Esports World Cup.
Yes. So Punk was already qualified. That's the reason.
Punk won. Spoilers. He was already qualified. So technically, you just had to make it into losers. That slot pushed down to whoever gets.
Yes.
So it was a big deal. It was DCQ, who was going up against was it
Nephew?
It was Nephew, the first time around with his nephew.
Oh, first time in winners? What you mean?
In winner, because DCQ went into round on the winner side.
Check the log.
Because Punk had to come through from losers.
So winners finals was DCQ versus Punk.
Versus Punk, yeah.
Yes, and then so winner semis Punk, Idom. Winners other side winner semis was DCQ Just a Kid Jack, who just brought it. He sent Mena to losers too, right?
Yes, and he did. DCQ winning against Just a Kid. Because that kind of like that was his best position because he knew like if Punk, if we were to meet Punk in winners finals or in Grand, it didn't matter because Punk had already qualified. Like the big, don't get me wrong, winning the event is dope, which is great. Don't get me wrong, having CEO belt and all that, fucking amazing. Can't take that away. But the bigger target that a lot of these players were looking at was top 3 placement for the EWC, right? Because you need to get your ticket in that way in order to even have a chance at that craziness, right? That's what you get.
Followed that, Nephew beat Lex, who is JB's brother, who unfortunately but not to take it away, I think Lex also beat Nakudu to make it in to top 16 from top 8 as well, which is wild because they both trained or something along those lines. Then NL beat Noah the Prodigy 3-2, which Noah brought it, man. I mean, you can meme on him all day about getting into burnout all the time, but
he's never scared. He's never scared.
He's bringing it. Nephew eliminated Just a Kid. Then Idom eliminates NL. What a match, because that one button just messed him up on NL side. And he had to repair his stick in the middle of the match.
Yeah, in the middle of it all. I had to literally get a screwdriver out to peek it out and all that. Yeah,
apparently he lost a round because of it. So they had to restart a round and he just lost momentum. I mean, that's definitely different from the JDCR type deal that was happening a couple months ago. So then you got DCQ in winners finals beat Punk 3-1. And then loser semis, Nephew, Idom. And Idom, man, bringing it back with JP.
With JP, man, I know.
Yeah.
Wild. We was just talking about, bro, is the Dormammu of this. Yeah. This guy really does love him some pillars. Yeah. He just loves himself some pillars on the screen.
He picks those characters that are hard to find out, and then I don't know, I never saw him have a JP, and he's just like, hey, I'm gonna find him out.
Because he was like, yo, you think I was gonna come here and struggle with this fucking fashion model?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
But then Nephew, hunkered down and made it tied, and he went back to Manon. So
the jury on jury action earlier was with Just a Kid because of the constant loop that he was doing with the Fuha engine, instant overhead stomp, and he did it several times. People are like, oh, top tier privilege.
Feng Shui engine. Yeah.
Feng Shui engine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But it was a masterclass, regardless.
But
all things Street Fighter.
But holy cow, Punk really showed. Okay, I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter between today and yesterday. There's a lot of Akumas online. I wonder why. Punk switched to Akuma and just
went to work.
Yep, did the thing.
Went to work.
Wild.
Went to work.
Anyway, but nothing to take away from DCQ. Literally the whole weekend, I'm like, who is DCQ? And I watched in top 8. I went back and watched the matches that he won. He beat Fudo and a couple of other players. Like, dude is legit. It's
disgusting.
Wild. Yeah.
Disgusting. But yeah, so with that, with the matches, you were all awesome. There was no like announcement there, but there was a really cool announcement down post that, which was of course for CEO 2025. You really posted up quick video, quick trailer for it. It was made by AI, aka Alex's Intelligence is what he called it. And yeah, we ended up getting a look at the next venue. I'm trying to find the trailer for it. The next venue itself, which is now actually happening in Orlando, so putting the O back in CEO, which is awesome. For those that might not remember or new to the scene or anything like that, CEO literally stands for Community Effort Orlando. And you might be like, why is it happening in Daytona Beach? It moved years ago due to, honestly, from what I remember, Alex always stating it was the cost. He was pretty transparent about the cost of it was kind of getting insane, and it just was not viable. So Orlando became the spot.
And space. I mean, the space.
Or excuse me, Daytona.
Yeah, the space over at the one that closed down, which was where TNS9 was. I went there for the first time, and I don't even know how they had past CEOs there. Like, geez, it was tiny compared to what we did with at the Ocean Center.
So now it's actually over in Rosin Shingle Creek.
Yeah,
that's the venue. It's about 10 minutes away from the Orlando International Airport. For some reason, 10 restaurants, 4 pools on site, over 300,000 square feet of venue space. It's going to be a lot, and that's awesome. It's happening next year, June 13th to the 15th. So make sure to get your dates on, get your on. Get your vacate on.
Yeah, and he said it's very close to the new Universal. I'm a roller coaster junkie, so
Universal, yes, you're there.
Yeah, the new Universal Studios area looks like it has plenty of rooms, and yeah, you can this is one of the hotels that you see from atop of like a roller coaster. While you're in the Orlando area, like there are plenty of buildings that you see around that are like hotels. Yeah, it's one of the ones that you don't want to miss, I'm sure, next year.
So once again, one of the big 3 continuing on. Go get ready to register. Like I said, get your PTO on now. You get the opportunity to time off and your vacay. I'm looking to go.
Get your entrances ready.
Yeah, get your early birds on, please.
No, I'm talking about your CEO top 8 entrance.
Oh, that too. Yeah. If you got
get creative, because I don't remember any of them. No,
the wave dashing for Tekken 8. That was someone did. Yeah, for one of the he was and he wave dashed all the way through.
I didn't bring up Tekken 8 because I didn't watch it.
Leffen had a good one because he did the Happy Chaos one where Tempest came in and he was like looking at the crowd. Then Leffen came out and like did the whole pat, wore the glasses. Hey, hijacked his entrance and walked through. I was like,
that's great.
That was
sick.
So like, that was sick. Yeah,
that's good.
Literal entrance.
Yeah, I missed the entrances. What can I say? When I heard that they had to change the music, I was like, it's not. I don't know. They had to. And then the music is hard to hear on the stream too. So it's just me. Anyway,
but yeah, so CEO 2024 wrapped up. Another great event. Shout out to Sid Bailey. See if we can get him on before 2025 comes through and with some shop. Hey, so safe travels to everyone going back home. Thank you for everyone that just put on a show for everyone to enjoy the top 8. It was incredible.
Good luck at EWS.
Yeah, AWC.
Yeah, sure. That I already
EWC to everyone that's from. And of course, we got Evo, and that's the last thing that we got to forward to wrap up this season. But until then, that's gonna be it for us on this week and on this episode of Double Tap. We appreciate y'all listening in. Real quick, remember, guys, we are taking submissions for community segments. So basically, we're getting you guys involved in the show. We've got questions or topics that you want to talk about on the show. You yourself, yes, you, Dave. If you want to talk about it on the show, Make sure to hit us up on, of course, socials, or you can also email us at doubletap@mash.gg so we can coordinate that and get it going, get you guys on the podcast. We'd love to hear from you guys. Remember, this is all about community. See in community for FGC. And this is just another way for you guys to get involved. In the meantime, though, you can still follow our awesome host at, of course, Static Gorilla, at Static Gorilla on all social media platforms as Twitch, more Marvel, and some more Street Fighter, because they're Bison, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that is the look. And Poke Rogue, for some reason. One of my viewers got me into that. So, Poke Rogue. But more, yes, more Bison, more Street Fighter, and trying to get more Guilty Gear, because Evo is right around the corner.
Absolutely. And of course, even though he's, kind of been chilling behind the scenes, you can still make sure to follow at Josh Damas Sky as well.
I got nothing. You got it. You got it right.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, I need the confirmation. Yeah. You can follow me at CrashTagBS on Twitter. Of course, you can follow us, Double Tap, at Double Tap FGC on YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe there. Check out the video. The video that gets put out alongside this podcast, as well as shorts and as well as community postings that we all posted up on our YouTube as well as on Twitter at Double Tap FGC. And make sure to join us, of course, on our Discord. Want to get involved? Join our awesome community at mash.gg/Discord. Post up articles, get involved in our question of the weeks and our polls. We do post it up there as well. We talk shop, put up announcements, all that good stuff. We do appreciate it. Joined up. We've had a couple new members that come through. We appreciate you guys. Come say what's up. Come join the group. It's been a good time. We'll have another episode, of course, for you guys next week. We're going to have plenty of Guilty Gear to cover with the announcements coming up. But until then, that's going to be it for us. Catch you guys then. Later.
See ya.